You need to stop letting people's opinions influence your life. They don't matter. And honestly, when you're on your deathbed, do you really think you're going to care about what these other people said? Regardless of if it's someone important or your family and friends, importance is obviously a time-based thing. People go up and down and increase and decrease in importance over our lives, of course. But you need to stop holding yourself back and restricting yourself from what you can be and what your potential is because of what other people think of you. Their opinions do not matter. They don't. You're not going to care about it when you're dying. So why care about it at all, really? And I get there's a lot of social dynamics and there's evolutionary programming in your brain that's saying, oh, if you don't fit in with the group, like bad things will happen. Well, guess what? There's tons of people and lots of little groups. And if you don't fit in with this group, you can fit in with another one. It's not, your survival is no longer predicated on you being able to integrate with a group, like literally within your local environment. You can integrate with remote groups. You can watch people in different parts of the world communicate different ideas and connect with them. And that's like a huge change from what, our evolutionary and biological programming was set up for. And let's just say it hasn't caught up yet. And so you might think, you're never going to fit in, you're never going to find your tribe or whatever. It's because you haven't looked hard enough and you haven't looked in the right place. Trust me. Anyone can fit anywhere. There are niches for like Pokemon trading card gurus. Like you can find anything these days. You just have to look for it. Like I'm sure there's Facebook groups somewhere or any sort of like social forum. Obviously, I'd recommend staying away from social medias and stuff because they just tend to be a very standardized cancer across the world. But if you can obviously involve yourself locally, or you have the luxury of having enough money to fly out and attend conferences and attend meetups with people like that, that would be really optimal for your health. But you need to stop having this external locus of control. So a locus of control is basically what you perceive to influence you and alter your environmental state. So let's say you're skateboarding down the street, for example, and a dog runs in front of you and you don't stop in time. And let's say you hit the dog or you trip over the leash and you go face first and you scratch all of your arms and your hands and your face on the concrete. Right? So there are two types of people. Like it's obviously a spectrum, but for the most part, there's individual. It's kind of like an introverted, extroverted type of thing. There's an external locus of control, and then there's an internal locus of control. And a person with an external locus of control, what they would do is they would blame the dog. They blame the dog walker. They blame the leash. They'd blame the day. They would blame the gravel, like the gravel truck that put the gravel down that made them slip and head into the dog and like wipe out. They would blame, who knows, like their mom for not buying them more protective equipment. There's so many factors that they could just externalize the blame on. That's essentially what an external locus of control is. So you're externalizing the blame on something else other than yourself. An internal locus of control is the opposite. You're internalizing it. So you're saying, it is my fault I crashed and skid, regardless of what that dog and that person was doing. I didn't have proper protective equipment. I didn't swerve at the last second. I could have stopped with my foot and prevented all of it from happening, but I didn't do that, or I'm not skilled enough to do that. I could have, there's 1,000 things you could have done. You could have gone on that street and brushed it with a broom before you were skating. If you're constantly skating like on that street, it's a totally fair thing you could have done. Would it have taken? It's a little ridiculous and taken extra time, yeah, but it's within your control. You could have influenced the environment yourself with your choices to have avoided it happening entirely. So. And it's the same thing with people's opinions. People's opinions They only matter to you if you're externalizing your locus of control, right? If you're internalizing your locus of control, even with opinions, the only opinion that matters is yours. And like maybe your very, very close relative, like your spouse or something. That might be like an externalization of your internal self, you know? Like your family unit and your environment are critical to your survival. So maybe that's kind of somewhat in the outer bounds of your internalization. But it is critical that you remember that external opinions come from that external locus. But your choice in the matter is to choose to hear it, you know, comprehend it, internalize it, write it to your brain as, oh, this is something that matters to me. Or you can just stop it at the gate and say, okay, like that's your opinion. I don't give a shit about it. Like it doesn't matter to me. Why should someone else's judgments matter to you, especially if they haven't done the thing that you're going to do? Like if you're doing a challenging thing, this is like a common thing with all inventors, entrepreneurs. People will doubt you. People will shit on you. People will say, you're not going to make it. It's not going to work out. Oh, you should just try something else. Oh, well, I guess it's a dud. It's not going to work. Like, fuck them, first of all. And second of all, who cares what they have to say? They haven't done it. Even if they have done it, they haven't done it the same way. They haven't lived the same life you have. They don't have the same influences. And like, there are so many stories of entrepreneurs that are like on the verge of failing and everything's about to go to shit and their bank account's at zero or in the negatives and they think it's all over. And then they change something or alter a small detail. And then within 3 months or whatever, they're just rolling in cash, or they've hit huge success, or they're international bestseller as a book or something. Like you have no idea what's going to happen. And in that facet, good things and bad things can happen to you in the future. And if, in my opinion, if a lot of bad things are happening to you now, that usually means a lot of good things are going to happen to you in the future. That's kind of how I think about it. And that's kind of how like cosmic karma, I don't know if you guys believe in karma, but I haven't over the course of my life, and I've suffered because of it. And now that I've kind of believed that, I need to align my karma, I have a lot of bad karma I need to kill and fix up, and I need to contribute good karma to the world so it cycles back to me and kind of refreshes, goes from net negative to net positive. And a lot of things in my life have been improving. It's super weird. It's super weird. I gotta say, like, it's kind of some voodoo-esque stuff, but it works. And basically the key is to keep external bad things external, because if you internalize them, you start to manifest and create negative karma through projecting it out, because your body doesn't like it, right? It's negative stimulus. Your body is going to try and get rid of it. And the key is to not hold on to it and not internalize it at all, so you don't have to get rid of it. As soon as you internalize it, it festers, right? It's like a disease. And and the stuff that you have internalized, you need to let go of. You need to release, because if you're not able to do that, it will drag you down. Like, obviously this has been said time and time again, but like bad things happen to good people and can make them into bad people because they internalize them, and it festers, and all their good traits are overridden by these like bad things that have happened to them. Right. And it's the same with like taking risks and stuff. Like, there's a difference between active risk and passive risk. Passive risk is the majority of the things you probably think active risk is. Active risk is like jumping in front of a bus, or, running into traffic to save your dog. That is active risk. Passive risk is, what will my peers think? Will this ever work out? What will so-and-so think about this and that? Like, passive risk is an artificial construction of your brain to basically keep you, to not get killed by the tribe type of thing. But the thing is, like I said before, there are a million tribes, and the tribe doesn't really matter anymore. It's like a moot concept at this point. And you need to realize that anything that is passive risk, like, oh, what if this, happens? What if X, Y, Z happens? All of it kind of trickles down to your animal brain and the basic brainstem activity of survival and keeping you alive. So if you say, like, why am I feeling this? And then you answer and say, like, oh, I'm upset because I are making enough money at my job. And then you ask, why am I feeling this? It's like, oh, because I don't think I can provide as well for myself and my family. It's like, well, why does that matter? It's, well, because it's part of our survival. It's like, well, why does that matter? It's because, well, if it doesn't work out, we could die. And basically all of these paths, all of these fears that you have, all this passive anxiety and this passive risk that you interpret, all have a root cause. And the problem that it goes down to, if you trace the tree all the way back down, you keep asking, why this, why this, why this, why this? You trace it all the way back down. The end result, the bottom of the tree, the root, is always death. That's literally what it is. And realistically, if these things happen, you need to ask, like when I'm feeling this, like, oh, I'm feeling upset. It's because underneath all of that, you have some ingrained fear of dying. And you need to realize and think about it and be like, will this legitimately cause me to die if it goes like sideways? Will I have no other option? Nothing, like, obviously you can doom and gloom and have, like, panic and stuff, but you need to think of it objectively and be like, will this kill me? Like, will, getting to my job 3 minutes late, will it kill me? It's like, well, if you get terminated, that might be a bad thing, obviously, but you could still get another job. You might be eligible for EI that can cover you, as well as you have savings. And, if you don't have savings or any of those things, maybe you have a friend that can help you out. Maybe you don't believe they'll help you out, but regardless, they're an option. And at the end of the day, like, maybe you can crash on someone's couch. Like, the majority of people, like, they think that, oh no, everything's going to end. Like, the world's going to collapse. I'm going to be homeless on the street, blah, blah, blah. Like, unless you have like 0 family members, you grew up in an orphanage, you never made friends, never talked to anyone, and never achieved any level of competency, that's not going to happen. So, like, for 99.9% of people, you could find a couch to crash on, if worst comes to worst. And that is still not dying. So you need to remember that you are not, like, nowhere as close to the bottom or the end, like, horrible result that you think you are. And, like, it all comes down to fear as well. Like, just ask yourself the question, like, if you're upset or something's bothering you, like, are you at risk right now or in the very near future of dying because of this thing? And if the answer is no, it doesn't fucking matter. And you need to stop wasting energy on it, because it is a animal instinct in your brain that is trying to override your processes, trying to pull out the ego, trying to, enact this artificial reality that things are going to go drastically bad and, like, the whole fucking world's going to end. And it's like this apocalyptic scenario playing over and over and over. If you are not in physical danger, there is no danger, basically. You can recover, you can survive. If you are still breathing and you haven't gone to black screen and you're not dead, you still have an ability to fix the situation. You still have time. Time is the most valuable asset. And, it's critical that you continue to make sure that you are focusing on every time that an emotion like that comes up. Just ask yourself, am I going to die right now? And the answer is no. Doesn't matter. Let it go. It's not important. You do not need to internalize it. It will not benefit your life if you internalize it. And your internal locus of control is responsible for determining that question. Like, should I internalize this information, or is it irrelevant to my goals and my principles? And if it's irrelevant, you throw it away. You let it go. because it doesn't matter. It's not going to serve you. It's not going to benefit you. Why waste time on it? Who cares? Who cares what they think? Even if it's your family, even if it's your parents, no one cares. No one cares. Just think of it if you were like a third party and you didn't know them. If you receive that information, like, would you just be like, who the fuck are you? Like, you don't know anything. Like, I don't know you. You don't get like the luxury of commenting on my life. Just because you think people have all this context and stuff, they don't actually have full context. They don't monitor your life 24/7. And then on top of that, you don't monitor their life 24/7. So you might think they're talking down on you from some like high place, but really they're on your level or lower. Like, you never know. And this is like perspective changing has happened to me like time and time again. So you need to focus on keeping those, like, think of your brain like a hard disk, you know, like on a computer or like a drive. And you get to choose what information gets written to the drive. And if you choose to write bad information to the drive, eventually it could corrupt the drive and the whole drive fails or just doesn't work properly or isn't able to execute its primary function, which is, you know, absorbing useful knowledge at the end of the day. So you need to be watching everything that goes into your drive and cutting it out like a cancer. If it's bad, if you already have stuff that's bad that's written to the drive, focus on, I think first step is focusing on getting it out. Second step, once you've cut 90% of it, 95% of it out, you need to focus on the stuff coming in, filtering it more accurately and better because you have not been doing so in the past. So that's a critical part of being healthy and like mentally healthy is being able to do those two processes. And I think a lot of high functioning people understand that. So you need to work on those things if you struggle with, you know, taking people's opinions to heart too much, being influenced too much by people, the media, all these like bullshit psyops that don't matter, don't have your like best intentions in mind. They're just trying to ruin you, get a quick buck out of you, market to you, put some bullshit down your throat. Like, don't let them. Don't let them. They know nothing about your life and what you want and your goals, and they don't deserve to. So you need to cut them off at the gate, you know, like your mind is a castle and you need to like put up your archers and make sure they hold down the fort and keep any bad, you know, plague-ridden, lecherous people from coming in the gates because the whole fucking thing falls down if bad things and bad people and bad thoughts are like let in, you know. So, and just remember that it all comes down to your personal choices, right? And making easy choices leads to a hard life, and making the hard choices, and the hard choice here being stopping that information from entering your brain, influencing you, tearing you down. The hard choice is to just ignore it, right? We all want to get angry over it or maybe take it to heart too much and maybe be like, maybe they're right. Like, fuck them. Who cares if they're right or not? You can figure that out for yourself. You don't need to be told. You're not a child. Hard choices make an easy life. And the hard choice is stopping this stuff at the gate, stopping people from influencing you, stopping other people's ideas from telling you what to do, what to say, how to act. They don't know any better. They are another human being who is just an elevated, evolved monkey who is on this planet for a temporary amount of time. They don't know shit. They're not like ageless. They haven't been an eternal being that's lived for thousands and thousands of years and is all knowledgeable. They don't know anything. Even the smartest people in the world, so-called experts, have just like mostly failed upwards. Like, they don't know shit about shit. They just know a very specific amount of information in a very specific niche category, and that makes them an expert. Like, they probably can't even cook for themselves, but they know advanced theoretical physics. Like, wow, so impressive. Like, who cares, really? Like, if you, like, the people who are the most valuable in society are the people who are able to do a lot of things at a very high level of expertise, and they are very rare. So if you can focus on, building yourself and getting to a point where you can do something like that, the world will like basically hand you gold and silver in buckets. Like it's ridiculous actually, how easy, and people call it like manifesting and all this, like it's like luck or something. It's hard work. You work harder than everyone else. You work smarter than everyone else, and you work longer than everyone else, and you will beat everyone else. It's that simple. I don't know why people think this is some like mysterious concept. Like there's no shortcuts. You need to grind XP. It's like a video game. And the faster you grind XP, the faster you level up. And you can be 10 times the level of someone at 90 years old, at 30 years old, if you put in the work to get the XP, and they didn't, or they slacked off, or they did it very slowly. So it all comes down to you, what you want for yourself, and how you want to build yourself up. So I hope this helped. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll be back next week with some more stuff. Have a great week.